I believe, is playing sort of Titan ramp, and I do not know about her opponent yet, so there we are. I trust it is not 1-2. That is not the score. We're in game one. And Melissa DETORA is on the left, up against Ryan Cooper. It looks like very little has happened. We've got a Sphere of the Suns from Melissa, I believe, and a second one, and now a Birds of Paradise. Now we're going to see Forbidden Alchemy on the right from Ryan Cooper. We get the decks. So, Melissa has plenty of permanents, but in reality not much going on yet, but she's working her way towards the magic number of 6, which will feature your particular green or red shade of Titan.
What would you want a green-red Titan to do? 4 RG.
Yeah. You probably the obvious one is like your kind of halfway house, so it's like get a land and deal shock damage, let's say, something like that. A land and a shock.
That seems obvious.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem exciting. What's red-green? Decimates red-green.
I guess you could choose.
Oh, you could make it modal, yeah.
So Melissa, with a ton of mana available, see a Kessig Wolfrun at the top of the screen in the land column.
Which may become significant sometime in this game.
Indeed, because this is a Nexus going active. So nibbling in.
But no Wolfrun pumps.
So we're going to see more having a look. So Ryan playing Esper Control.
Ghost Quarter, the Wolfrun. And honestly, Wolfrun card that I got to tell you, I honestly underestimated.
Okay.
When I got this set review thing, and I was doing a column about here are the Innistrad cards I'm going to put in my EDH decks.
Sure.
I was like, Scarg's good enough. The Rage Pits.
Okay.
And I kind of dismissed a little bit Wolfrun, and obviously I was terribly, terribly wrong.
Turns out to be quite good. So Melissa now using Sphere of the Suns, removes a counter, and you are going to see...
Nope.
Changes her mind. Right, she's going to go Green Sun Zenith.
For 1, 2, 3.
And we're going to see a mana leak for that. And she is going to pay, which is part of the thinking.
She played it that way.
And this time, Ryan says sure, it resolves, so she scoops up her Green Sun Zenith to shuffle back in.
Yeah, we don't want to have any mistakes like in the last game.
Fans away.
Can't quite see what she got there. It's Thrun. So she must have done it for 4.
But in any case, not for long.
Not for long.
Number 4, your minute's about to start. Please come over to Sideboard.
But she still has plenty of mana to start doing her things.
And one imagines Primeval, and there it is, Primeval Titan.
I'd go get a replacement for that Wolfrun for sure.
And one imagines maybe a Nexus, looks like. Nexus and Wolfram.
Well, those seem to be two of the operative pieces of the deck, so...
On the other side, you see plenty of mana. Where Ryan is working towards, he's got a Grave Titan, a couple of Consecrated Sphinx, a pretty irrelevant Elish Norn, one would think, by and large. That's obviously not really what Elish Norn is in the metagame for. Obviously, it's always relevant when she appears, but
it's gonna keep that Nexus from getting activated.
For sure, yeah. A solitary White Sun Zenith to go with the full 4 Day of Judgment.
Again, if a game gets to go long, White Sun Zenith is a significant kill card for the control deck.
Yeah. So Melissa, with a ton of mana, says, "Here's another Zenith." Any objections?
Looks like not.
3 cards in Ryan's hand. Looks like he's got Grave Titan sitting there.
Zombies are all the rage these days. So. They're the vampires of 2012.
Yeah, and interesting, looking at Dark Ascension, which we'll be doing a lot more, you're starting to see that zombies are being pushed as a potential actual... Yeah. I mean, I'm hesitant to say an actual deck, because obviously we haven't seen all the cards from Dark Ascension, but certainly heading that way in much the same way as vampires from Zendikar were.
Right.
I think we're going to see Doomblade.
Doomblade, right.
Have a mix of Doomblade and Go for the Throat, as you'd expect in the Esper control deck.
The Ryan's problem right here is his hand's getting a little small.
Indeed. So he says, I'll tell you what, let's move from the hand to the board.
To the board.
Here's my version of Titan. And I do believe that'll be a Rashad Miller token.
And he's brought his Rashad Miller token.
Please report to the side of the stage.
If we could give style points from the booth, I think the Rashad token is the one that gets them.
I do enjoy players, though, who will play with their own card. I think that's always nice. There's a certain level of one-upmanship that's classy, and I think that's one of them. So Melissa with 109 mana available this turn, approximately. Will say, I would like to activate all 3 of these Nexuses. Nexi. That sounds like a kind of shaving illness.
Yeah.
What's the matter with you? Oh, I've got Nexi.
Pseudo-folliculitis Nexi.
Very good.
Obviously that Titan getting the lands, well, it's battling.
And she still has 5 mana available even after turning 3 of her lands into guys. It is indeed, as the scoreboard indicates, round 4, if you're just joining us. And Melissa DETORA going up against Ryan Cooper. Solemn Simulacrum for Melissa.
If that's a creature that doesn't fetch a land, if it's not Solemn Simulacrum, does she maybe hold it back? I mean, she's got a significant advantage here on the board. Does she want to run her last good guy into another Day of Judgment?
Yeah, I mean, the thing from her point of view is that she has the Nexus and she has Wolf Run. So in a sense, the board doesn't really matter. And, Ryan's... she won't know his list at this stage,
right.
But we know that he's not like he's running 4 Grave Titans. That is his Grave Titan right there.
Right.
He doesn't have a lot of other win conditions. He has, and she will know that much at least, that he will not have. There's not a lot of room in the Esper control decks for win conditions. So she's probably thinking that he's going to look to ride Grave Titan to victory, will be his hope. At which point, get a Solemn Sim, that can block a Grave Titan.
Right.
Get my deck even thinner.
Right.
So, and there you see Ryan for the first time in the match. Over his shoulder, Blake Rasmussen giving you the play-by-play on Rafael Levy against Luis Scott Vargas. And there is Melissa, qualified for Pro Tour Honolulu, courtesy of her literally playing the game and seeing the world. As she went with James Searles, they toured the world together, went to every Grand Prix in the previous season. September to December, they were pretty much everywhere.
You saw that she went for the throat, killed the Grave Titan, which Ryan can't be particularly happy about.
And Melissa is busy contemplating putting Ryan to death.
It's gonna take her most of the rest of the month to count the mana she has. So yeah.
Ryan taking a look. The Nexus. Our Nexuses. The Primeval Titan goes in again. More land. So it looks like Melissa's got 16 land in play right now, plus the 2 Sphere of the Suns. Control decks are supposed to have the land, but
Right.
6 and 7, I think, for Ryan right now. He has a bunch of Grave Titan tokens. And is flicking through his 3 cards.
Again,
We're going to see some pumpage.
not a good feeling for the control deck to be running short on cards.
Used up a Doomblade. And again, there you see Keswick Wolfrun. It's lethal on any one of them. So the Doomblade gets rid of 1. Ryan has 4 zombie tokens. So he doesn't have to hang on a desperately long time here against Melissa, who we just see a quick peek at her hand. Appears that certainly has 1 forest and an other card. Ryan passes. Now Melissa lays that forest that we saw.
I mean, she can.
Activate. It was Doomblade last turn. Now 2. In comes the Titan. Plus. And there we go. Ryan says, this time I don't have a Doomblade.
Well, he was
and
tapped
you
out
got
as
me.
well.
Sure. And you got me. So,
Yeah, that once the Grave Titan was gone, that was a rough game for him to get back into.
yeah. And we talk about thinning a deck. As there you see Melissa going to her sideboard, which we'll talk about in a mo. But it's not just the thing with ramp is it's the gift that keeps on giving that you get to your 6, and that's all well and good. But then suddenly it's like 8 and 10 and 12 foot. I mean, 17 lands she had in play at the end of that game.
Right, which means that the chances are pretty significant that all she's drawing is gas at the end of the game. Where right there, if she needed to, she slag storms away his remaining tokens, clearing the path to not just win with the poison, but just beatings from the Primeval Titan.
So the way that Melissa's sideboard is shaped up, she's got 3 Ratchet Bomb, a couple of Whip Flare, a card we've talked about in the red-green, a couple of Ancient Grudge, obviously anti-artifact, a single Batterskull, Acidic Slime for one of those catch-all, a couple of I like this card, Into the Maw of Hell. Let's get to 6, let's put your land in the bin, and you know what, I don't really care how big it is. 13.
Right.
I love that card. Probably way more than I should, but I like things that do 2 things and do them emphatically.
Right.
You know, it's not even destroy target land if it's basic or non-basic. It's just, it's a land, it's dead, kill it. And then what else we got? 1 Tree of Redemption. That's a great card. That's so much fun to play with. I like that. No, you're not convinced?
I'm not convinced.
Okay, what don't you like with the tree?
Well, it's a tree, first of all.
Okay.
So it's slow.
Yep.
I don't want this to be the last march of the ends.
Okay.
There's a significant amount of aggression to her deck, and I want to see the aggression.
Sure. 2 Thrum the last roll. And 1 Khan liberated. Like him too.
What does she play him against? I mean, she certainly doesn't bring it into this match, does she?
I wouldn't imagine so. I don't know. Well, perhaps we'll get her in after the game and we'll have a little chat to Melissa and we'll ask her. So meanwhile, on the other side, what have we got in the Esper control for Ryan?
Ryan actually has a Karn of his own. A few phantasmal images, which may be worth bringing in.
Something you talked about in our first match, the idea of, well, the copy effect, a bit cheaper. In this case, a lot cheaper.
A lot cheaper than whatever it is that she's going to play. Whatever she's going to play is going to be really expensive, and he's going to copy it for 2.
Yeah. Bonus White Sun Zenith, the second one of those. Single Ratchet Bomb. Can add in timely reinforcements.
That's actually a 2.
Okay, yeah. A couple of Ratchet Bombs.
Which probably will make he's going to play those, if he can play those early and keep the birds and, some of the mana ramp from coming out.
Mm-hmm. 3 Surgical Extraction. I love the extraction cards, largely because they're a way for really good players.
Mm-hmm.
Surgical is a good word for this one.
Right.
And cranial, because it relates to the brain.
Right.
They are cards where if you wield them like a surgeon with Scalpel, they're tremendous.
Yep.
But it is quite possible to misplay those so utterly fabulously.
To make a complete mess out of...
I distinctly remember playing with Cranial Extraction against a deck that I knew, because I'd seen him play in earlier rounds, was Tradewind Abundance. Okay, or some such thing like that. Tradewind Riders and Abundance. So I cast Cranial Extraction, and I named Tradewind Rider. I got rid of all 4 of those. I felt quite good about this.
Right.
On turn 5, I cast Cranial Extraction again. I named Abundance. I removed all 4 of those. I felt quite good about that too. His deck was called Tradewind Abundance, and all 8 of his deck was off on the side that he couldn't do anything with. He beat me to death over 10 turns with a 2-1 ground pound. Like, oh, that went well, thanks. Enjoyed that. Mark Wraith. I've never forgotten you.
Mark Wraith.
He was a pro at one point.
He was indeed.
Played in some Pro Tours back end of the 90s. So we're gearing up for Game 2. Day 2. Wow.
Day 2.
That would be quick. Melissa DETORA against Ryan Cooper. The poison is relevant, as we've seen, with the Inkmoth Nexus.
Although it doesn't necessarily have to be.
No, not at all.
Looks like Melissa is getting some fuel from a tasty coffee beverage of some kind, frozen coffee beverage of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's run it, Rich. What kind of coffee beverage is Melissa DETORA drinking right there?
Oh, now you see, because I'm not American...
Is it a macchiato?
See... This is like a whole language.
Is it a frappuccino?
No, I've heard of a frappuccino.
Okay.
I have heard of this. I don't actually know what kind of coffee girl Melissa is. You see these people who decide to go off to every Starbucks in the world.
Yeah.
You see those people who...
That's kind of silly.
Yeah, that feels... I feel also they're never going to do it.
Right.
I mean, it's a noble goal,
right.
But I just don't see that happening. So we're underway. Rootbound Crag for Melissa.
It's like those people that go to foreign countries and want to go to the McDonald's while they're there. Melissa off to a relatively slow start for this deck.
Yeah.
But now she's got some action. Looks like the Solemn Simulacrum. It is
ahead of schedule. Thing is, this is the kind of place where Ryan might try and say no, just on the basis that Mana Leak's not going to do much for him later
on, right? If he has it, it might even be that he decides
they've gone.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a.
He has a full set to get rid of, doesn't he? If he wants to. There you see him. If that t-shirt says HOF, I do not believe he is a member of the Hall of Fame. Not our Hall of Fame.
I didn't vote for him.
Does that say HOF? I think it does.
And now, with one more land drop, looks like she's got a Root-Bound Crag in her hand. Going to battle with Jens. See what happens. Now she's at going to be at that magical 6 mana point.
At which fun stuff happens.
Yeah, Acidic Slime.
So this is keep you off your land plan.
Yeah.
So one wonders, therefore, whether she's actually brought into the Maw of Hell for A, kill off the Titan, kill off the Consecrated Sphinx,
right.
Even kill off an Elvish Norn.
Right.
Because it turns out that 7,
yeah,
whatever, that's a lot less than 13. And just gets to put him off his mana for a while. Interesting.
Yeah, well, I mean, one turn can be a very significant thing in this deck. So, another one. Wow. Sure.
So Ryan at 16, courtesy of 2 hits with a solemn... Oh, now 12.
Yeah,
and now we are going to see
Garruk.
Mr. Garruk. Yeah, Garruk. The Primal Hunter. So Melissa in very good shape here in her opening match of GP Orlando. 1-0 up already. Has significantly stunted Ryan on mana. And there is Day of Judgment from Ryan. But it doesn't sweep the board entirely because Garruk Primal Hunter is still there.
Yeah, she couldn't keep him off the 4 mana for the Day of Judgment.
So now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Inferno Titan. Right?
Yep. And she's going to make a token off Garruk. 3/3 green beast with +1 on the loyalty. So, I recommend another Day of Judgment. The doctor orders for you, Mr. Ryan Cooper.
Yeah, I don't think he'd be in the tank this long if he had one. He's going to have to give himself some time to find some answers. Well, if he doesn't have a blocker, Inferno Titan kills him right now.
There's about 30 minutes left to sign up for the $1,000 PCG player gold.
So, here's a phantasmal image.
If you're interested in playing that, please report to the side event stage. We'll be starting at about...
There's Doomblade for the Inferno Titan.
That's 4 mana extremely well spent.
Indeed. Are you secretly Doomblade guy? Is that you? Is that one of your alternate personalities?
Yes. Oh, another Inferno Titan. Looking pretty dark for Ryan.
As Melissa lays a tap land.
Big answer, or it's over, I think.
And
extends the hand.
And we're done.
That's the round.
Melissa DETORA wins 2-0 in very efficient style. Didn't need anywhere near 17 land in game 2. Got it done with around about 6 or 7.
I think Jake is going to go get her.
Yep, that's good. We'll get Melissa into the booth and have a chat
interview
about the wide world of Magic, which she has been very much a part of.